Small town charm, location, affordability. These are just a few of the reasons why you should be considering a move to Seguin, Texas. Hey y'all, it's Matt with Living in New Braunfels, Texas, your go-to realtor here in the New Braunfels area. Today we're going to talk a little bit, we're going to stray away from New Braunfels, okay? I've done videos on this city before and we're going to go back to it, all right? I realize that I've been kind of neglecting this city that's one of our neighbors, and I need to give it some more attention, all right? Today we're going to be talking about Seguin, Texas, and namely about why you should be considering Seguin when you're considering the Hill Country area. All right, you're considering a move to the Texas Hill Country. Maybe you're considering New Braunfels, and that's how you wound up on my channel. And I'm also talking about Seguin. It's all right. I've done a lot of business in Seguin. I've had a lot of people that have been watching this channel pick Seguin over New Braunfels, and we're going to dive into some of those reasons. Seguin is located just south of New Braunfels, down Highway 46 South. So maybe like if you're leaving I-35 and you get like to the Seguin city limits, depending on traffic, because everything's depending on traffic, right? It's like 15 minutes away, all right? And I don't know, it's a cool little town. Some people, and you're gonna see it on here, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate and people talking trash and everything. It happens every single time that I do a video on Seguin. They're like, I grew up there, I hate it, blah, 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 whatever. You're gonna have the people who love it. You're gonna have the people that talk trash, okay? I'm gonna give you reasons why maybe you should be considering Seguin when you're considering a move to the Texas Hill Country. So my family and I lived in Seguin for a little while, unfortunately only for about 8 months, okay? It's not because we wanted to move or anything, but we bought a house in July of 2020, and 8 months to the day, actually, wow, today's March 25th, just to give you an idea when I'm filming this, we had our house fire. We had a house fire, that's why we moved, on March 24th of 2021. So it's not like we didn't want to live in Seguin or anything. We just had to find another house. There really wasn't anything available in the neighborhood that we were in at the time that was kind of move-in ready. We moved into an apartment in New Braunfels. My wife's in property management, so we're able to get an apartment there. And we decided to come back to New Braunfels, into the Vintage Oaks neighborhood where we're at now. But it was just because of the neighborhood. We absolutely loved our neighborhood in Seguin. We were in the village of Mill Creek, and it's a Perry neighborhood, and we really enjoyed it. Like we did a lot of work in New Braunfels. My wife worked there, but we did all our shopping and stuff most of the time in Seguin. We'd go to the Seguin H-E-B, eat at the restaurants there, and we enjoyed it. I don't know, it's just something to consider, but let's talk about why. The number one reason why you should be considering Seguin, this is the top one, okay? Well, the first one I'm gonna talk about, but it's more affordable than it is New Braunfels. So as of 2023, I believe, the population of Seguin was about 36,000. It's probably closer to about 40,000 now, here in 2025. 40, that just depends, okay? And that's gonna be like the city limits. But if you're looking at homes, like you can look at Perry homes, and these Perry neighborhoods that they have that are in the city limits, you can find the exact same floor plan, the same features, everything like that. Compare it to Seguin, like say in Mill Creek Crossing. What do they have over there now? Village of Mill Creek, and I think it's Meadows or something, for a Perry home. Anyway, same floor plan, same features, everything, right? And then you look over here in New Braunfels, you're gonna be saving like $50,000 to $60,000 just off the price of the home by buying it in Seguin versus buying it in New Braunfels. Now, maybe you want to be closer to New Braunfels, or you want to be in New Braunfels proper for whatever reason, and you're okay with paying that extra, but houses are more affordable there, even with the exact same builders. I think, God, I mean, everything was kind of crazy in 2020. We paid like $340 for our house, and I mean, brand new Perry home. You can still find houses over there in the 4s and in the 5s, and then here it's gonna be the 5s and up. And of course, Perry's not the only builder that's over there. You still got a lot of homes that are being built by like D.R. Horton. D.R. Horton's got a few neighborhoods over there. Lennar has some neighborhoods over there too. I don't want to get into it. Look, if you want to, contact me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, below. I let my clients know a little bit more about, hey, which builders I really like, which ones I really don't. But I've made some hints on some other videos, so maybe you just got to go find those, right? But lots of builders that are going over there, and your dollar's gonna go further in Seguin. And it's not just in housing either. Property taxes are pretty good over there, even within the city. The median home price in Seguin is gonna be lower than it is gonna be, say, in New Braunfels, just north of us, or San Antonio that's southwest of Seguin, or Austin and San Marcos. So if you're like a first-time home buyer, an investor, a retiree, Seguin's a great place to look. I've had first-time home buyers. Some first-time home buyers are coming in from out of state, some from Virginia, some from California, and they wanted to buy a home in Texas, and they bought in the neighborhood that we lived in. And I even had another one that was a retiree coming from Virginia, and they're like, hey, this is gonna be our forever home, and they built a Perry in that same neighborhood, in that same area. But I've had investors that have bought in Seguin as well, because back then, like whenever they were buying, they could get stuff for way less than, I think everything that we bought for them was like less than $150,000 at the time, okay? But yeah, home affordability, just the general cost of living is gonna be lower in Seguin than it's gonna be, say, in New Braunfels, San Antonio, or even Austin. All right, speaking about New Braunfels, San Antonio, Austin, Seguin is in a great location, okay? Like I said, it is just south of New Braunfels on Highway 46. So you can go on Highway 46 and you hit New Braunfels, you can go Highway 123 and you're in San Marcos. And each one of those cities, New Braunfels and San Marcos, has I-35 running through it. So if you need to get to I-35, you're 15 minutes away or so, depending on traffic. Let me add that in there, right? Because Highway 46 traffic can get insane sometimes, depending on the time of day. But you're 15, 20 minutes away from I-35. And I-10, which runs from the west coast to the east coast, runs right through Seguin. Well, kind of on the north side of it. So you have easy access to I-10 getting to San Antonio or going to Houston. If you need to get into Austin, you can go 123 and then go up I-35. Here's a hint, guys, especially if you're coming from west coast, drop the V in front of the highway number or whatever it is. Just drop it. You don't need to say it anymore. Just say 35. But anyway, you can get to 35 real quick, either from 46, 123. You got I-10. If you need to go to Austin, you can also go on it's a toll road. So you take I-10, you take the 130 toll road. I believe it's did I just say the 130? Anyway, take 130, the toll road that'll take you around Austin. So if you need to get into North Austin, get to the Austin airport, easy access. And going south from there, it's very rural. Let's see, going down Highway 123 out of Seguin. You got some smaller towns going that way if you want to get to South Texas and stuff. Anyway, great location. Major highways that are near it or going through it. For recreation, you've got New Braunfels that's close by that's got a lot of stuff, and there's stuff in Seguin too. We're going to touch on that. But quick drive to Canyon Lake. Canyon Lake's going to be within an hour. You got the outlet malls are going to be in San Marcos. I did a video on that a few years ago. And lots of other places in the hill country. It's really easy access to San Antonio. You hop on I-10 West, and then like within 20 minutes or so, you're in Northeast San Antonio. And so, like I've said it before, it's one of the advantages of being here in New Braunfels, and it's the same way with Seguin, is that if you're gonna be flying somewhere, you're traveling, you've got two easy options. They're really not gonna be that big of a difference. Austin might actually be a little bit closer than it is San Antonio, the airports. So, if you choose Seguin and you need to travel or you got people coming in, they can consider, and you can consider flying in or out of Austin and flying in or out of San Antonio International Airports. And it's like the foot of the hill country, right? So going north out of Seguin, going into Braunfels and everything, it's where you got like real hilly and whatnot, but just south of there, it's still like those, gentle rolling hills. There's some areas of Seguin, like on the south end of town, that are just absolutely beautiful. I love it down there. We drive that way whenever we go to see my parents that are like kind of closer to the coast, but we drive through Seguin and cut through some of that like the little back roads and stuff of like Highway 46, go into Highway 123, gorgeous properties out there. So if you're looking for land, it's a good place to look as well. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video about Seguin and why you should move there. If you're thinking about it, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All that contact information is down below. Can help you out like I've helped dozens of others. Make sure you hit that like button and go and subscribe. All right, sorry for the interruption, back to the video. Another reason, so still being small, we've always said Seguin is about 10 years behind New Braunfels with the growth. It's actually probably a little bit more. I remember when I moved, or when I was with the police department in New Braunfels, it was like 2010 when the census came out. It was whenever we went above 50,000. We're at over 100,000 now, so 15 years later. And Seguin, so this is 15 years ago, but Seguin's probably about, like I said, about 40,000 or so. I don't think they've hit that 15,000 mark, but they're very close, okay? So they're about 15 years behind with the growth in Seguin proper. We'll get to that too. But it still has that small town charm but it has the growth coming to it, right? It has a cute little downtown area. It's got like the world's biggest pecan, in their square. You can go and take a look at that. And one of the like top barbecue restaurants in Texas is right in downtown Seguin. So that's a Burnt Bean Barbecue Company. I've done a video on that before. It is like world famous, a line starts there at Burnt Bean well before they open. And they're only open some days. And once they sell out, they're done, they close down, that's it. But yeah, so you've got that. You've also got like Davila's Barbecue, who's pretty popular too, pretty famous. I like Davila's as well. Here's a little thing. Don't tell anybody. I actually like Davila's a little bit better than Burnt Bean. When I went to Burnt Bean, I had a little bit of a sweet taste, but that's just not my palate, right? I want sweet barbecue necessarily, but yours might be different and you might like Burnt Bean better. I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad, but anyway, I still like Burnt Bean, all right? But with that small town charm, they still have festivals and parades and things that are happening down there in Seguin. And, because it's still a little bit smaller, you still have that small town feel. You're going to go into restaurants, maybe you become a regular there. People are going to recognize you. And, it's just kind of cool. It's what kind of New Braunfels was about 15 years ago or so. We still have a little bit of that feel, but it's slowly diminishing with so much growth that we've got going on over here. But with that growth, small town charm, but we've got a lot of growth in Seguin. They've got more, national chain builders that are coming in and building homes, more retailers. We've got a rather large HEB there that's pretty nice. I really like it. There's a great hospital and a lot of subdivisions that are going in. Now, some of these subdivisions, when I say this is the population, some of these subdivisions that are going in are outside the city limits. So they're not included in that population of like 36 to 40,000, right? And while Seguin proper has one school district, okay, kinda, depending on where you're at, no, because we were in the city limits and we were in a different school district. So you've got Seguin Independent School District, and you also have Navarro. Navarro's gonna be like all that growth and everything that's gonna be on the north side of town. And Navarro's gotten so big, so they used to be a 2A school. Where I grew up, Refugio, that's a 2A school. We had about 2,700 to 3,000 people, was our population, and it still is. And I graduated 30 years ago. My gosh, I'm getting old. Where's my reading glasses? I do wear them, but anyway. But that's not the same for Navarro though. Navarro is located in a little community of Geronimo up Highway 123, and they've gotten so big they're building another campus. Navarro is a very highly rated school district. I'll let you go and look up those yourselves, right? Comparing Navarro to Seguin. But yeah, tons of growth, especially north of Seguin. And I think when I looked last at the Navarro Independent School District website, they had approval for about 5,000 home sites that were going to be built over the next 10 years. 5,000 homes in the Navarro School District. So that's why they're building another campus. All right, so let's talk about outdoors. There's lots of stuff to do outdoors, especially like if you want to be on the water. So northwest of Seguin, you got Lake McQueeney. And Lake McQueeney gets pretty big. What it is, it's the Guadalupe River. So the Guadalupe River flows down, and you'll have going through New Braunfels, like Lake Dunlap, and then it turns into Lake McQueeney. Below that, it's gonna be like Lake Placid and then something else. So it's parts of the Guadalupe River, but there's dams in certain areas, and it dams it up and it makes it into a lake. So you got Lake McQueeney. Lake McQueeney is great for boating, kayaking, fishing. Lake Placid, same thing. Lake Placid's not as wide, it just looks like a wider river, but lots of homes on there. So if you're looking for, maybe something on the water, Lake McQueeney, Lake Placid are great places to look. Other than the lake, we also have Max Starkey Park. We like taking the kids there. They were younger to play on the playground and everything, but you've got golf over there. They've got a golf course. You've got disc golf. You have trails. Again, the playgrounds, public pool, tennis courts, basketball. There used to be a wave park there. I'll have to look and see if that's still open. If you know, drop it in the comments. But there was like a wave pool you could go to during the summer as well. But you've also got the community events that happen outside. I think the Guadalupe County Fair. You got the fairgrounds there as well. These festivals that are going on, the parades that I talked about. And it's nice because it's a little bit slower pace than what you're going to find in San Antonio or Austin, or even in New Braunfels. There are job opportunities in Seguin, especially when it comes to like manufacturing and industrial and things like that. So in Seguin, there's a Caterpillar plant. Not talking about the worms, the caterpillars, but caterpillars that make the real big machines and everything, these big diesel engines. Continental Automotive is there, Tyson Chicken. I've got a friend of mine whose wife works at Tyson Chicken. She's been there for a very long time. A lot of people work there. Niagara Bottling is there as well. And you got new businesses that are moving in all the time because there's a lot of room for growth in Seguin. There's a lot of land that's still available that people are buying up, and so businesses are coming in. Again, you're gonna get hate, people in the comments saying there's no jobs over there or whatnot. Just look, okay? And there's a lot of people that live in Seguin that might work in, say, even New Braunfels, Austin, or San Antonio, because they're so close to it. You can do that. You can live in Seguin and go work in another city. As far as education goes, like I mentioned earlier, you've got Seguin ISD and you have Navarro ISD. Those are the two public school districts that we've got there. And as far as higher education goes, you have Texas Lutheran University. TLU's got a beautiful campus right there in Seguin, kind of the northwest side of town. And TLU is a private faith-based university. It's not public or anything, but great education there. I've known a lot of people that have gone to TLU. I went to Howard Payne, that's based out of our home campus is in Brownwood, but my campuses were in New Braunfels, and they actually play each other in football. The New Braunfels, or the Brownwood campus, they don't have any sports in New Braunfels yet. And Seguin's got a great library. Like, you've got to go check out their public library. It's freaking awesome. It's 2 stories. Go check it out yourselves, okay? Great library there. And also, it's a great place if you're looking for an investment home or something like that, right? Because you can take advantage of those lower prices than you're going to find in New Braunfels, San Antonio, or even Austin. We kind of get more spillover, like, oh yeah, we really want a home or buy an investment home or something like that, but New Braunfels prices are too high for us. We're a little bit priced out over there, so they kind of start to look in Seguin. There's more land that's available for development. That's why you've got some of these national builders and even the Texas builders and the regional ones, like Perry Homes, that they see the writing on the wall. Like, Perry's been around for a little while because they had Milk Creek Crossing and then the village of Milk Creek, and now I think it's the Meadows. But it was a few years ago, a bunch of years ago, on Highway 123 in the south end of town, D.R. Horton came in and they built what was called their express communities. So with Express, they only had like certain options and whatnot. Anyway, you didn't get to pick anything. They built a house and you bought it. That was it. But they built an express community, a D.R. Horton community over there. And this was even before I was a realtor. And I said, I'm not saying I was right or whatever. It's not like, oh, I called it, but I noticed it. I was like, hey, if D.R. Horton's coming over here and they're building a community, everybody else is going to follow. And that's what happened. Tons of builders over there, a lot of expansion. There's more land. There's more land around it, and it's easier to build in this land because kind of like on this side of 35, on that side of 35, you have kind of that sandy loam, former like ranch land and farmland. It's not rocky or anything like that. So it's a lot easier to build on and develop, because out here on, like, say, the north side of New Braunfels, where you've got a lot of limestone and rock and everything, it's a lot harder to build here because you're going to have to dig up that rock and crush it and everything and get it out of there and haul it off. And you don't necessarily have to do that around Seguin. Oh, and then I mentioned as far as location, so FM 78 also runs to Seguin and going down into San Antonio, and that's right where Randolph Air Force Base is. So if you're watching this and you're PCSing to Randolph Air Force Base, Seguin's a great place to look, because you can jump on FM 78 and within probably 20 minutes or so, depending on traffic, you could be at the main gate at Randolph. All right, so if you're considering a move to the Texas Hill Country and you just liked what you watched and you're interested in Seguin, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All that contact information is down below. It's usually best if you give me a text or send me an email. If you're shooting me a text or something, make sure you include all your contact information. But I can help you out, like I've helped dozens of other people make New Braunfels and the Seguin area your home. Even my aunt, and my aunt doesn't watch this, she doesn't watch this, but yeah, my aunt was retiring out of the Air Force from Florida and she decided to make Seguin her home. But anyway, if you're thinking about it, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'll be happy to help you out like I've helped so many others. Until next time, y'all take care. We'll see you in the next video.